Ciao everyone, and welcome to part 2 on how to use Izotope RX as sound designing tool. In the first part, I showed you how to properly use Izotope RX in order to deconstruct the one track we had in order to extract the production sounds of the main character typing on the keyboard. Now within this second tutorial, I'm going to demonstrate how we can use Izotope RX in order for us to restore the dialogue of the main character, separating it from the keyboard sound, in order for us to create two discrete channels that then we can use and pan as best of our convenience. Alright, now that we're back in Pro Tools, what I want to try to do is to isolate Maddie's vocals or Maddie's dialogues from the actual keyboard sound. To do so, I'm going to try to do one more thing with Izotope RX. So as we saw in the previous tutorial, I've imported only one file. Right now what I'll do is try to import two separate files. Actually, what I'll do is to copy this, set my column to go down, and I'm going to place this as X dialog. Alright, so what I'll do is to import both of these files, and what I'll do there, I'm gonna choose import individual files inside Izotope RX, send to repair. And the reason being, I wanted to import both sounds. So I have the sound of the typos on the keys of the computer and her dialogue. It's because I want to use a module called the debleed, which is generally used primarily in music in order to remove the bleeding of the click that possibly has bled out of the headphones into the microphone. And I want to see, this is just more of an experiment, if through the debleed I can actually remove the clicks of the keyboard, or at least attenuate as much as I can to then go farther with some audio restoration editing without actually compromising too much Maddie's vocals. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is choose my debleed module. And what I want to do here is to select bleed source track. So in this case, I have Pro Tools 1 and Pro Tools 2. Pro Tools 1 being my type or click sounds. And what I want to do is to pretty much having this track removing all the clicks within Maddie's dialogue. So what I'll do here is to learn the bleed profile. All right. And let's see what we got. Render. So as you could see over here, Izotope RX has memorized or saw where the sound of the keyboard were and removed it, analyzing the track that feeds the debleed module. I'm going to give it another pass of render, just because I still see a little bit of it. And I will listen back.
No, my password. Fucking password. What the fuck is my password? I have to change it every day. It is so stupid. Why can't I memorize my password?
Alright, maybe a little bit too drastic. I go back to my previous state of debleed, as you can see here from the history.
No, my password. Stupid fucking password.
Initial state.
No, my password.
Debleed.
No, my password. Stupid fucking password. What the fuck is my password? I have to change it every day. It is so stupid. Why can't I memorize my password? No, my password.
Okay. We're already getting there. I'm going to zoom in again because there is a lot of that room tone. So I'm going to press T in order to engage my time tool. And look for this part exactly here. So as you can see here, we have a little bit of that hiss given from the microphone picking up a little bit of the AC maybe in the room or just normal room tone air. And what I'll do, I'm going to use my spectral denoise, telling this module to interpolate this selected area, learn the profile, then Command A, I will select the entire track and render this. And now we should have a much cleaner track.
My password.
As you can see here. Now, the second thing I want to do is, again, to remove a little bit more the transient portion of the actual clicks of the keyboard. Let's see if by changing my frequency, I could analyze better. Again, over here, I choose my frequency scale in linear. This will allow me to focus a little bit more on the upper range of the spectrum with a little bit more details. And as you can see here, we see all the transient of the keyboard. Now, this might be a little bit dangerous as we don't know what's right underneath. There could be dialogue, and we don't want to remove that necessarily. So I'm going to press Command D to lose the selection, zoom in a little bit more, and this should be our click. Well, yes, it is. There's also a little bit of her breathing in it. So what I'll try to do right now is to kind of like select my click and use a module called the AdClick Module. This is primarily used in order to restore digital clicks, not really what we're trying to do, but perhaps we can trigger this module in order to have RX analyzing this as if they were digital clips rather than actually sounds. So let's see if I make the selection a little bit bigger. What can I do here? Much better. And what I'll do here, I'm going to change my instant process to the click. Okay. Let's see what we got. This is a P of password.
My password.
So another thing you could do is actually analyze and start understanding what the spectrogram is revealing you. So as you can see, the P of the password has an initial transient and then a very long and fade out decay. And again, I selected because I had the instant process on. I'm going to Command Z to undo. But over here, I don't want to remove the P of password. Otherwise, we're going to create a very unwanted word.
My password.
Now those looks a little bit more like clicks. So let's see what can we do. Okay. Okay. So again, I've removed just the upper end of that sound.
Change it every day. I have to change it every day.
Much better.
I have to change it every day. It is so stupid. Stupid.
So this is, let's see.
Stupid. Stupid. Why can't I memorize?
Okay, we're back in typo mode.
Why can't I memorize? My password. My password. Fucking password. What the fuck is my password? I have to change it every day. It is so stupid. Why can't I memorize my password?
Okay, we're definitely in much better shape compared to the initial state. What I'll do, it's trying to use a module called Deconstruct right now. And I'm gonna do the invert. So I will bring back the tonal gain and actually remove all the transient, or as much as I can, of transient noise plus noise gain. I don't want to do too much as all my transient or unwanted transients have been already removed a lot. So I'm just going to try and give a passive render just to hear how this sounds. And again, what we want to try to do is to preserve as much as we can the tonal quality of the original dialogue. Remember, we don't want to have the audience being distracted by how badly that audio has been restored. So let's see what the Deconstruct module did.
My password. Fucking password. What the fuck is my password? I have to change it every day. It is so stupid. Why can't I memorize my password? My password.
Let's go back to here.
My password.
Yeah, no, I don't think the deconstruct actually help us. Maybe we could try dialog isolate. Let's see how this works. And this, it's kind of like the deconstruct module, but it focuses only on the difference between dialogue and noise. So let's see how this module can enhance our dialogue a little bit more.
My password. Fucking password. What the fuck is my password? I have to change it every day. It is so stupid. Why can't I memorize my password?
All right, I'm definitely happy with what we got. So what I'll do is, for now, send this back into Pro Tools, and I will choose 2 other tracks. And render this. So now, what we did, I can get rid of this. Now we got Matt's vocals or dialogue, which we can position right now here. And if I solo this,
My password. Fucking password. What the fuck is my password? I have to change it every day. It is so stupid. Why?
let's see if I can do some brutal editing and get the S of stupid. I'll copy that.
Stupid.
Let's see what we got here.
Stupid fucking. Stupid.
I'll lower this a little bit.
Stupid fucking password. Stupid fucking password. Stupid fucking password. What the?
Okay, we're getting there.
Stupid. Fucking. Stupid fuck.
Actually, I'm gonna do this. We need the D of stupid.
Fucking. Fuck. Fucking.
All right, we're getting there. Let's see what we got here.
Stupid fucking. Stupid fucking password. Stupid fucking. Stupid fucking password. Stupid fuck. Stupid fuck. Stupid fucking pass. Stupid fucking password.
Okay, not bad, especially because later on we're gonna mask it
Stupid fucking password.
with a little bit of room tone and sound design. So
Stupid fucking. Stupid fucking password. Stupid fucking. Stupid fucking password. What the fuck is my password? I have to change it every.
okay, so we went from something like this
My password. Stupid fucking password. What the fuck is my password? I have to change.
to something like this.
My password. Stupid fucking password. What the fuck is my password? I have to change it every day. It is.
And down here we now have all right. So what I could do here is to cut this and paste it above here, as we do have our original dialogue into our playlist. Sorry.
My password.
And RX.
My password. stupid fucking password. What the fuck is my password?
So as you can see right now, through Izotope RX, I could create two distinct and discrete channels, one for Maddie's dialogue and another one for her keyboard. Next in line is Amy's dialogue, and then we're going to put all together to actually see how panning works in a surround scenario and how everything creates a little bit more of an immersing feeling for the audience. Alright, moving forward, we have a second character within the scene, which is Amy right here. And again, our job here, given the fact that we don't have a very broad stereo panorama, is to play a little bit more with the left and right part of our channel in order to kind of like divide a little bit from the center these two characters, giving the impression to be in the exact same room with the actors. Amy here has this line, which I'm gonna solo up for you.
It's okay.
Which is fairly clean. I mean, it doesn't have a lot of problems other than this very long hiss.
It's okay. It's okay.
You hear this? So, in other words, what I'll do right now is trying to remove this hiss. So what I'll do here is to, first of all, Control Command \, I will create a new playlist. And what I'll do is to send this selected clip into my repair module, into RX. As you can see here, we have the old preferences, so I'm gonna just change the frequency scale to bark. All right, and just listen to what we got.
It's okay. It's okay.
So we have a few elements. The first element that we want to do is to clean up this dialogue from all that white noise given from the room tone. So to do so, luckily for us, I'm gonna press T to select my time tool. We have a little bit of a handle at the beginning. Oops, I still have my instant process on. Okay, so we have a little bit of a given here as we have a little bit of room tone given from this handle before Amy starts talk. What I'll do with this is actually to choose my spectral denoise, learn the profile of this noise, Command A to select everything, and render this.
It's okay. It's okay.
Way cleaner. So another thing I want to do is just making sure that down below our fundamental frequency we don't have any additional noise. So I'm going to press F to activate my frequency tool and select right underneath Amy's vocals. Okay, so what I'll do here again is to using my spectral repair, and what I'll do is kind of like reduce the surrounding region. Okay, maybe the strength of 4 is a little bit too much, so I will put a strength of 3. I'm gonna tell my Whitney to pick up a little bit more before, or actually below our frequency, and let's give it a listen. Command D to deselect, T to go back to your time selector tool.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
All right, much better. Now we have an extra problem though. There is a little bit of Mandy within okay part of the sentence of Amy.
It's okay. It's okay.
And I'm assuming that is Mandy right there. So what I could do is pressing L to activate my lasso tool. And what I'll do is trying to select only the portion of the dialogue that I think belongs to Maddie. All right, so this is it. As you can see right now, the sound moves from left to right. So what I'll try to do is using my spectral repair module and analyze what's above or below our sound. It's a lot of a trial and error, you know. There's not a fixed thing that you could do with RX other than experimenting with what you know. So let's do this. Okay, let's see what we got.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Not super satisfied, but we're getting there. Definitely, this is Amy. So I'm gonna lose for a second this selection and trying to only remove this portion over here. All and I don't want to again cause any problems to Amy's vocals. So I'm gonna go and repair. Let's see what we got.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay.
Definitely much better. There is a little bit of
It's okay.
room tone. So let's see if I could actually deverb this a little bit. So I'm gonna go with a general reduction, actually gentle reduction. Let's see what this is gonna do. I'm actually going to preview this.
It's okay. It's okay.
Not super happy about it. Maybe I'm gonna go with an ambient suppression of maybe 50%. And actually this time I will compare the two. So we have our original.
It's okay.
And the reverb.
It's okay. It's okay.
Definitely our take. So I will render the second part. Now the last thing we have to do is just simply import this back into our Pro Tools session and render this.
It's okay.
Now again, with a little bit of EQ, we can gain back a little bit of the clarity that is gone due to this restoration. Another thing we could do in order to avoid kind of like gaps within the performance, because as you can hear right now, I'm just gonna solo up the two characters.
Fucking password. What the fuck is my password? I have to change it every day. It is so stupid. Why can't I memorize my password?
It's okay.
Could be to add a little bit of room tone. Now we have worked with RX in order to remove the room tone, but luckily for us there is another function, if I'm going to go here in my audio suite, RX ambience match, that would allow us to actually grab onto a specific part of the room tone or wild sound that was captured within the, in this case, within the boom microphone. And what we could do is to learn this and what we want to do is not to remove it, but actually render only the output. Now the great thing about this is that not only I can store this specific room tone for the specific scene, but I can store it in a way that I can recall it later on. Now right now we're only analyzing this scene, so what I'll do after I've learned this room tone is to find another track, which let's just paste it for a moment. Actually, let's do it onto our background track, our mono track. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure I have the correct selection of our scene. So we'll build there, semicolon to go down, background A. All right. So as you can see, before this phenomenal feature, in order for you to kind of rebuild a little bit more of glue around the dialogue with the little bit of room tone that you got, you had to copy paste it, reverse, invert, crossfade, and everything. But in this case, Izotope allows you to have any length as you want, and you don't have to do any of that annoying and time-consuming editing. As a matter of fact, now that I made my selection, I can simply click render, and now I have a track that is only my background. Of course, it's a little too loud, but what I'll do is to blend this in a little bit with what we got so far. And let's solo up Amy's and Maddie with a little bit of the keys.
I'm
gonna lower this a tiny bit.
My password. Stupid fucking password. What the fuck is my password? I have to change it every day. It is so stupid. Why can't I memorize my password?
It's okay.
I can't. I don't know my password.
All right. So you started to see how we could actually use Izotope as a truly sound design tool. Now I'm going to move forward and finishing up the scene and let you hear the final product.
I said I didn't want to go to school. I just want to go home. I don't want to be here. I said that I didn't want to be here. I don't know why I'm here.
All right, so now that I'm done deconstructing through Izotope RX all the sound elements of my scene, as a matter of fact, I have created 3 discrete channels of our dialogue. So we have Maddie, Amy, and then the production sounds of Maddie typing over the keyboard. Now I'm free to pan these elements however I want. Now, generally speaking, dialogues needs to be panned or are panned most regularly in the center. Now, within this specific scene, given the very important kind of emotion that the character is trying to convey here, what I wanted to do was immerse a little bit more the audience within whatever is happening within the scene. Therefore, I wanted to use a little bit more the stereo spread to kind of like help the two character being positioned within the screen. So I'm going to let you hear in Pro Tools how I used to be before. As a matter of fact, I've created a custom group of the previous version. So by pressing Command 9, right now I'm going to pull up the video. So look and especially listen to the sound within this video. So this is how it used to be before.
She was worried about a test, and I said I would give her my notes.
I don't know my password. Stupid fucking password. What the fuck is my password? I have to change it every day. It is so stupid. Why can't I memorize my password?
It's okay.
I didn't want to be here. I didn't want to come here. I said I didn't want to go to school. I just want to go home. I don't want to be here. I said that I didn't want to be here. I don't know why I'm here.
So let me make the screen half size. So as you could hear right now, I wanted to enhance a little bit more Maddie's dialogue and the emotion again that she's trying to convey. But given the fact that she's typing so hard on the keyboard, that aspect didn't allow me or couldn't allow me before to actually pan freely these two elements. So as you saw before, I've used Izotope RX to deconstruct these two elements. And right now, if I press Command 9 to remove for 1 second the video out of the picture, as you can see over here, I have my production dialogues down here and the two dialogues. So Amy is sitting on the first dialogue and Maddie is sitting on the second dialogue. So dialogue 1 is Amy, dialogue 2 is Maddie. So I'm going to let you hear now the final product of what we have achieved through Izotope RX.
She was worried about a test, and I said I would give her my notes.
I don't know my password. Stupid fucking password. What the fuck is my password? I have to change it every day. It is so stupid. Why can't I memorize my password?
It's okay.
I can't. I don't know my password. I said I didn't want to go to school. I just want to go home. I don't want to be here. I said that I didn't want to be here. I don't know why I'm here.
So as you could hear right now, we were able to kind of like pan through our speaker array our two characters. So whenever we see the scene where we have Amy on the right side and Maddie on the left side, I wanted to actually, associate to whatever we're watching the sound to that corresponding image. If I will split the screen in half, now I'm gonna let you hear the elements we got. So to do so, I have prepared for you a couple of different memory locations identifying only dialogue, backgrounds, and sound effects. So if I move to my dialogue only, right now, those are the tracks that we actually had before treated. I'm gonna solo up only my dialogues, and this is what we got. So with the video,
she was worried about a test, and I said I would give her my notes.
I don't know my password. Stupid fucking password. What the fuck is my password? I have to change it every day. It is so stupid. Why can't I memorize my password?
It's okay.
I can't. I don't know my password. I said I didn't want to go to school. I just want to go home. I don't want to be here. I said that I didn't want to be here. I don't know why I'm here.
so as you can see right now we have 3 discrete channels. We got her typing on the keyboard. We got Maddie's dialogue.
Fucking password. What the fuck is my password? I have to change it every day.
and Amy.
It's okay.
So as you can see right now, we are free to kind of like pan our elements as we want. Matter of fact, option minus to display the volume automation. So other than, you know, having done a little bit of writing here and there are a few things that are kind of like very interesting here. And first and foremost, it's our pan, front to left. As you can see right now, our pan or our elements have been panned to the corresponding position of our characters within the story. So remember, it's really important for us in order to kind of like immerse the viewer within the story that they're watching, to properly work with sounds, not only in making them sound great and enhancing the performance, but as well playing a little bit with the array of speakers we got, because it's really important for us to kind of like enhancing the picture, but making the audience feel like if they're in the exact same room as the two main characters there. So right now, I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna let you hear a little bit more what's behind it. So along with these tracks, there is also a little bit of reverb that we have associated, because again, these two characters are in a room. So what I wanted was not only clean up the audio, but as well to redesign a space around our characters. So I'm gonna let you hear this with reverb and without reverb. It's very subtle.
She was worried about a test, and
before I do so, let me isolate only the dialogues. Okay.
she was worried about a test, and I said I would give her my notes.
No, your password. Stupid fucking password. What the fuck is my password? I have to...
Without reverb?
She was worried about a test, and I said I would give her my notes.
No, your password.
With?
Stupid fucking password. What the fuck is my password? I have to change it every day. It is so stupid. Why
Without?
can't I memorize my password?
It's okay.
I can't. I don't know my
With?
password.
So again, with this a little bit of small room tight reverb, we were able to kind of like rebuild around our dialogues a much more controlled environment, which is exactly what, you know, we aim to do. All right, I'm gonna let you hear also the different elements we got over here. So we have not only our dialogues, but we have as well backgrounds and music. So as far as the background goes, I'm gonna pull up another memory location where we have only our backgrounds. All right, there we go. So we have 3 different types of background over here. Let me zoom in a little bit. Make this track a little bit bigger. So we have the first one, it's a mono track. And I generally work with 1 mono and 2 stereo tracks per scene on a general basis. But of course, this could change upon what type of film I'm mixing. Now, in this case, we got the first mono track, which was the kind of like room tone that we have extracted with ambience match with Izotope RX. And the other 2 backgrounds are, again, another room tone, plus, again, as a sound designer, you also have to think in what time of the day the scene has been shot. So to me, I wanted to kind of like have people feeling that this was a kind of like maybe late morning, afternoon or something. So I also added a little bit of birds that are tweeting outside of the window. And what I did was filtering a little bit the birds, because again, you're not in an outdoor, you are indoor. So you hear the birds, but they are across the window. But again, our job here is to enhance a little bit the scene. And since they were not birds, I just felt like it was more appropriate to enhance the scene, adding a little bit of the ambience that would include birds as well. So I'm gonna let you hear only the backgrounds. All right, I'm gonna let you hear the backgrounds one by one in solo. So we got our first background, which is the room tone we have extracted. We have our second background. And the third background. Again, the goal here is playing a little bit with different pitch, especially when it comes to room tones. It's like when creating a song, you know, we are overdubbing specific elements or recording different types of arrangement and playing a lot as well with the pitch in order to kind of like make the arrangement, if you may, fuller. And it's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing inside a sound design element. So what you want to do is really to find sounds that are similar but not the same in order to kind of like expand a little bit more the immersiveness of whatever we're trying to do. I'm going to move to the third element of this scene, which is the music. Right, so I'm going to recall another memory location, music only, and there it is. There's no much, it's just a stereo track. Zoom in a little bit so you can see it. And this is the music. All right, I'm gonna play you all together. All right, so this is our scene. I'm gonna make this a little bigger. I'm gonna actually play you the before and after again. So before. Actually, excuse me. I'm gonna play the before.
She was worried about a test, and I said I would give her my notes.
I know my password. Stupid fucking password. What the fuck is my password? I have to change it every day. It is so stupid. Why can't I memorize my password?
It's okay.
I didn't want to be here. I didn't want to come here. I said I didn't want to go to school. I just want to go home. I don't want to be here. I said that I didn't want to be here. I don't know why I'm here.
Final scene.
She was worried about a test, and I said I would give her my notes.
I know my password. Stupid fucking password. What the fuck is my password? I have to change it every day. It is so stupid. Why can't I memorize my password?
It's okay.
I can't. I don't know my password. I said I didn't want to go to school. I just want to go home. I don't want to be here. I said that I didn't want to be here. I don't know why I'm here.
So I hope you fully understood how we could use Izotope RX as a phenomenal sound design tool, not only to restore audio, but as well to clean up sounds and to create discrete channels that then we could use at our advantage. In the next tutorial, I'm going to show you how I use Izotope RX in the same manner, but right now we're going to be running into another problem because we're going to dealing with an outdoor scene. So I'm going to see you in the next one. Ciao.